What's up guys, Meredith with ExtremeTerrain.com, and today we are checking out the AFE Twisted Steel Catted Y-Pipe fitting all 2005 through 2015 4.0 liter Tacomas. Now if you have a check engine light on the dash, have scanned your truck and you're getting the dreaded catalytic converter code, a CAT replacement may be in your future, and if you want an option that's not going to be a total headache to swap and will replace them with OE specifications, this set is worth looking into. Now this Y-Pipe will help eliminate those annoying codes so you can pass your emissions test and allow smooth and proper airflow out of your system once again, while also being a bit more affordable compared to those dealer prices. I do want to mention right up front that this will be EPA certified, but will not be certified for you California residents, so just keep that in mind when you're checking this option out. The catalytic converters on your Tacoma are incredibly important for the system to reduce the amount of harmful gases coming out of your motor, which is why they're required for emissions. And if yours aren't working properly, they'll let you know loud and clear with a light on the dash. Now this option will eliminate that, filtering those gases correctly, effectively reducing your truck's emissions, getting it back in check with your computer, and will be just a great replacement to help your truck breathe better, considering that at this point the Gen is a little bit older and has seen more time on the road. So this is going to effectively do that in an efficient system. This will be made of a 2-inch to 3-inch mandrel bent 409 stainless steel tubing, which will offer some great rust resistance, so you won't have to worry about the integrity of this system over time. The flanges are also laser cut and have a durable leak-free seal, and everything here is 100% MIG welded for optimal strength, meaning that this system as a whole, along with the materials, is built very well and be able to put through its paces. Now everything about this setup, including the hangers, O2 sensor bungs, and flanges, will also have an OE style construction, so you won't have to make any modifications to your system, and it will facilitate a very straightforward install. This will come in at about $900, which is right on par for a system like this. Now catalytic converters can be on the pricey side, so you will be saving a little bit compared to the dealer or OE prices. This will be a step up from factory in materials and build, in my opinion, making it an all-around great choice if you need to replace your CATs and legally swap them out with a system that's EPA certified and that you can trust. Install here will be a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, just because I do recommend a little bit of experience when working with what can be difficult O2 sensors and bolts, just because of the exhaust nature of the heat cycling. However, if you do have some know-how, it should only take you about 2 hours to get the job done with the right tools. Now at this point we can head over to the shop and check out a detailed breakdown on our Tacoma right now, so you can get a glimpse of how to do this step by step. So that's going to wrap it up for me. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Tools required for this install include an impact gun, an exhaust hanger remover tool, 13, 14, and 22 millimeter wrenches, 12 millimeter ratcheting wrench, a clip remover tool, an extension, 13 and 14 millimeter swivel sockets, and 13, 14, and 15 millimeter sockets. What's up guys? Today we're installing an exhaust on our Tacoma. First we're going to watch a quick uninstall video showing you how to remove your factory exhaust, and I'll meet you right back here for the install.
All right, so we have our Tacoma in the air, and the first step in the uninstall is to remove both of the bolts at the front flange of the exhaust. Grab a 14 millimeter socket and let's get these removed. Now we have a little bit of PB Blaster on these just because they are a bit rusty, so we sprayed them down. Now we can remove them with a 14 millimeter socket. Now that we have our exhaust disconnected, we can disconnect all of the hangers as well. We have an exhaust hanger removal tool here. And we're going to slowly work it off of each of the hangers. You can add a little bit of lubricant here to help the rubber isolator move past the hanger. And you might just have to work it off of the end a little bit. And now that that's off, we can move on to the rest. Now you can repeat that with the rest of your hangers. Just be ready, as once all of your hangers are removed, there's nothing else holding the exhaust to the vehicle. And once the hangers are removed, go ahead and remove it off of your truck.
So now that we have our cat back removed, we can start tackling our Y pipe. Now, first thing we're going to do is remove that bracket surrounding our cat on the driver's side. There's two 12mm bolts holding it in, so I've got a 12mm ratcheting wrench to pop those out. Next, we'll have to remove our O2 sensor. We have our connector up here that we can press in the tab on to disconnect it. And then once you have that disconnected, you can take a 22mm wrench to break it free. And then you'll just unthread it the rest of the way. And then you can do that same thing on the other side. Now next we can remove the two nuts on each of our flanges. Now our hardware has been replaced, so we have a 13mm bolt and nut. However, from the factory, this is going to be a 14mm nut on a threaded stud. So you would take a 14mm socket to remove these two. In our case, I have a 13mm wrench and 13mm socket. And then you can do that same thing on the other side. So now the only thing left holding our Y pipe in place is our two hangers. So we'll take a hanger remover tool, pop these out, and then we can wiggle our Y pipe out of place. So now with our factory Y pipe removed, we're gonna have to transfer over this gasket to our new pipe. Now this would be a great time to replace that gasket. We do have two gaskets included in the kit for the flanges that this bolts up to. However, we don't have this one. So if you're gonna be reusing your old one, I've got a clip remover tool so that we can just get back behind it and pry it off. We'll just work our way around the gasket here so that we don't damage it. And once we have it off of that pipe, we can slide it onto our new one. Now, since our Y pipe is in two pieces, before we lift this up into place, I'm just gonna slide our clamp onto our pipe and connect them and raise them up together. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to slide that pipe into this one once this one is up and mounted. So we'll just do this now to make it easier. And now we can lift this up, get it into place, and we'll get our rods into our rubber isolators first. So now we can take our Y pipe and slide this into place. Next, we can come up to our flange. We're going to be installing our new gaskets that are included in the kit. So we'll put that onto our pipe, raise this up into place. And then for us, we're sliding our bolts through. However, if you have the studs, you'll just slide that up onto that stud. And then thread on the nut. And then same thing on the other side. And then you can take your 14mm socket to tighten down these two nuts, or in our case, we're using a 13mm wrench and socket. We'll just go back and forth to tighten down our flange evenly. Now we can do that same thing on the other side. Grab our gasket, align our two flanges, thread on our nut, and then once again, 14mm socket, but we're using a 13mm wrench and socket. Now this inside one is a little bit harder to get to, so I'm using a 13mm swivel socket on an extension. Next, we can reinstall our O2 sensor. Drop this into our bung. And now we can take our 22mm wrench to tighten it down. And once we have that installed, we can grab our connector. And click that into place, and then we'll do that same exact thing on the other side. Next, we can reinstall that bracket on the driver's side. Get that slid into place, and then we can thread our bolts in. And then we'll grab our 12mm ratcheting wrench to tighten these the rest of the way down. Next, we can come back to our clamp and slide that into place, and then we'll take a 15mm socket to tighten it down. So now the only thing we have left to do is reinstall our factory catback. Now I'm gonna grab a buddy to help me out with this one. We're gonna take our tailpipe, we're gonna put it over the axle, and then we can get all of our hangers into place, and then we'll go back to our flange to tighten down our bolts. So now I've got my buddy, he's gonna help me lift the exhaust up over the axle, and then we'll get these rods into our rubber isolators. So now up at our flange, we can reinstall those two spring bolts and tighten them down and wrap up this install. Now we'll grab our 14mm socket, snug these up. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the AFE Twisted Steel Catted Y-Pipe for your 2005 to 15 4-liter Tacoma. Thank you for watching, and for all things Tacoma, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.